Hello to everyone. So I thought I would start off this stream. Let's see if I can reposition this a little bit. Okay, so this is the entire brush set, and I thought I'd talk a little bit about the palette that we're offering as an add-on because we think this is amazing, and it's a really big part of it. Ties in with a big part of the technique. You guys have seen me paint on top of this piece of plastic art a lot. It's kind of the same as that. So this is our brush set. This is Series D. So I'll go open. Apologies to anyone who's seen this already, but it may be useful to some new people. So we'll pop this to the side for a second. I'll take you through the basics. So my soap is out because I've been cleaning my brushes, but this would have a soap in it. It'll have a D when we're on Series D, obviously. This soap is for keeping your brushes in tip-top condition. It smells lovely. That's there for basically restoring and revitalizing bristles, keep them going for longer. This, which is actually here, the dampening pad, this is pretty special too. This is made for introducing moisture to your painting rather than just ploughing more paint onto the brushes throughout the process of dry brushing. So I'll show you exactly how I would do that now. If I bring my water into frame. Nice and purple there from yesterday. So just a drop. There you go. One drop's all you need. Press it in, work it in, dab it in with your fingers a little bit. Yes, you'll absolutely be able to personalize them with whatever you like, within reason, nothing naughty. So that's the dampening pad, and basically the purpose of this is to introduce moisture to the painting before, during and after, and that helps paint exit your bristles beautifully, just in the same way that if you're putting paint in your airbrush, you put thinner in first and then the paint, so the paint doesn't stick to the naked metal. Exactly the same idea as that, and it helps the paint exit more easily and more smoothly and in a less chalky, grainy fashion. Thank you for the love hearts, you're most welcome, Mel. That is the dampening pad. In the set we obviously have the brushes. They are beautiful, they are super soft, densely packed, way more durable than bigger, more brittle hairs, more bristly ones. Our bristles are soft and there are a lot of them, and the brush is round, so that means that when you press on them here, your abuse is going to be coming from here, from here, from here, and whatever you're doing, if you have a round brush, is the abuse is going and it's pressing into the side to where there's the greatest density of bristles, from the side to where there's the greatest density of bristles. So that means whatever you do, the hair's backing, it's all backing each other up, which is really good for longevity. And when you stress a hair, you're stressing it into the others, not away from the others, which is what happens with a flat brush. So with a flat brush, you start off like this, and then you stress these bristles, and instead of being stressed like towards this solid durable center, towards this solid durable center, like downwards towards the solid durable center, you stress them, and you stress them away from it, so there's no backup at all, and they end up doing this. And that's why flat dry brushes end up looking all curly. I'm not sure if I've got any old ancient ones here. I haven't. I've been walking on the enlightened path for a while now, so I've just got our dry brushes. So they'll wear like that. So ours don't wear like that, and actually they will wear down absolutely beautifully. If you give me a second, I will show you an example, so I can put my money where my mouth is. Okay, so this brush has been used for about 20 hours, this one. And you can see 20-30 hours probably by now. I've used it quite a lot actually on the live stream, so it might be 25 or 30. It's not curled out, it's not got all awful and horrible and sad. It's in fact kind of this beautiful light bulb shape, which is perfect, and that just makes it better and better and better for stippling every day you go on. It's obviously you can't feel it over the internet, but it feels amazing, and that is just a damn perfect brush there. Like, that has been broken into perfection, not to to like decrepitude. So that's how the brushes work. They exit paint a lot more softly, and then what we really counsel people do with the technique is testing it before it goes on the model, and making sure you don't have too much paint on the brush. And with your paint not chalky, because you use the dampening pad, and tested, you should be able to apply it to the model and get beautiful effects like this, or super smooth, gorgeous effects like this. So that's that. And this palette, as you can see, fits beautifully in the box, even with the dampening pad in there. Fits there nicely, and you've got it to take with you. And these are actually really fun to paint. We want people to have fun painting as well as painting effectively. And you can test out effects on this. You could spray that silver and wash it and see how it looked, and then stipple in other things and just use it as a testing palette. Or you could, for techniques, or you could just have it passively become something a bit more like that, which is like the palette that I paint on. It's great. If you can see this texture here, you can see exactly how it's going to behave on flat areas, on areas with edges, on jaggedy areas, on smooth bits, on coarse bits, on whatever. So this allows you to test it on here, and then you can pop your paintbrush on your model and you know exactly what is going on. So that is kind of the idea with the entire set. We've got a few of these. So this is the sci-fi one. We've got some graffiti ones. We've got a Starry Night one, which is kind of like a cityscape at night, which I think is really cool. And whichever one you think suits your style better, or of course you can get all of them if you like. We would encourage that. Not that I'm biased. You pick one that suits your style, and then you can have it inside your set, and then you've got everything you need to take with you, and it's transportable. So if you're on the move and you're not taking a big palette with you, or a massive desk if you mix on your desk, or anything like that, then you have everything you need in the one case. All right, so that is enough kind of blatant explaining of our product and product placement. What should I paint today? I will take requests. I'm more than happy to take requests. I'm also more than happy to ignore them if I think they're not good ones, but do suggest away. I could do some scenery. We've done a fair bit of scenery. We could do some time on vehicle. Tyranids. All right, so you say that. We've been asked this a lot. So I was trying desperately to prep this one in time before I came on. I can prime this now, and even though it's not an entire model, I can show you on like one wing or something. Would that be cool? Would people like to see that? I mean, Bob's going to be biased, but he got in there first, so that's fine if he is. I could definitely do a number on one of these wings. That'd be really interesting. All right, okay, you got it, Bob. Give me 1 second to prime this, and then we'll go. Right then. Hello, anyone who has just joined. So it's going to be Tyranids. Are we just dry brushing this? Are we dry brushing and airbrushing this? Are we showing combined techniques? Are we stippling it? What are we going to do? I'm asking myself these questions as much as I'm asking you guys. I love these models. I think this is a fantastic model to paint on. That's the reason why we chose it. So obviously we've just got to let it dry first. It's getting there pretty fast though. Hopefully this isn't deafening. I'll do it off camera. Just use my airbrush, which is one of the airbrushes you can get on the campaign. what I'm going to do actually, guys, how is the volume of the airbrush? Is it literally like deafening and awful, or am I okay to airbrush on stream? Warhammer blog. How do I know how to choose the colours you've mixed together? You can absolutely learn it. Which colours? Do you mean like on the models, or what? Wicked. All right, that's perfect. Do you mean the colours I've chosen on the models, or what? Wicked. All right, I'm glad about that. That's really nice. If it does build up too much, let me know. I'll try and carry on talking, because sometimes that. On the models, a lot of it is experience, mate. Quite a lot of it is this. Yeah. So if so which ones do you think are odd, and then I'll explain my thinking through anything. So like I painted every single model on the campaign, or that's been done for the demos. Thank you very much. So I painted every single model that's not been done by the pros, by David and by Bohan, that's on the campaign. So if you pick out any model in particular, I will take you from start to finish through the process. Okay, so the Nurgle guy, basically, he's pretty much this. So on a color wheel, we've got our reddy violet, or like our kind of somewhere around this spectrum. So I took those colors, pop it here, and I can point it, and you'll be able to see the model as well. So I took this and then just carried them on over there. This one here, I'll take you through my thinking on that. So you can't see on that one massively well, but that actually, it's got quite a lot of blue in the recesses. So I've gone from a colder base through purple, which can be neutral. You can have a warm purple, you can have a cold purple. That's a cold purple, that's a warm purple. See the difference there, hopefully. So took it up through purple. I just wanted the blue there to make the purple deeper in the recesses without it just being boring and black. And I wanted some colour saturation. And then again, although you wouldn't know it necessarily to look at that model, it's kind of in this spectrum. And the light colour I added is ice yellow. And ice yellow has it's very, very, very light yellow, but it is yellow. So when you use that to highlight, let's see if I can pick it out. There we go. You highlight towards warm colour, so you end up with kind of like this far more soft, organic highlight colour, whereas this is what happens if you just add white. You end up with like a chili purple. So that was my thinking on that one, basically. Is that helpful? Have I done an okay job of answering that? I know it's something that it doesn't come naturally to a lot of people. It doesn't come naturally to me, but I've painted enough and made enough mistakes that I've kind of picked it up. Nice yellow. It is a nice ice yellow, for sure. Yeah, ice yellow. All right, okay, so this is nearly dry now, but what we're going to do to help it dry is we're going to pop, this guy's going to be done, we'll do this guy, like, we're going to do this guy in the same colour that we did the wall the other day, so like the purple to yellow, because I think that would be interesting. And yeah, let's see how it goes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down a very, very dark purple base coat, like super duper dark, and then we're going to stipple over it. So I've got thinner in my airbrush first. It's one of these lovely colour paint ones. I've not actually broken this one in yet. Like this is literally been christened now. So it's been used for varnish and that's it. So hopefully it doesn't need any bedding in. I like to bed in everything I use. You've heard me talk about it in reference to brushes, but I think bedding in periods are really important for everything. Palette, airbrush, dry brush, wash brush, doesn't matter. Right, okay. These airbrushes are so good. This needle is wicked. If anyone is airbrushing with a tiny, tiny needle and wondering why they're having issues, yeah, long story short, get a colour wheel. There are some colour combos that work that aren't on a wheel. So like cream and purple looks gorgeous. You won't find that on a wheel anywhere. Alright. I put a little bit of black in here. and some more thinner, and then this is what we're going to base coat our model with. Actually, I'm not going to put black in. I'm going to follow my own rules. I'm going to put in some really dark blue. This is the same dark blue that we've used on absolutely every model so far. It is Huldra Blue. So we're going to be going from a cold base here. My paint's a little bit thick, you can hear by the sound of it, but I don't think it matters too much because we're going to be stippling and dry brushing, and we are still airbrushing. Again, hopefully I'm not deafening any of you guys. It's not the intent. So I think I'll probably just do one wing. Just do the top side of one wing. Orange and aqua, yeah, it looks great. Looks really good. I like turquoise or aqua or teal on anything though. I'm completely biased.
I didn't find a device name notes.
Okay, so that was Alexa talking to me. Sorry. All right, so we got our base coat down. Just going to dry this out a little bit. Angel, hello. Joined by a celebrity, guys. 2 celebrities and Craftworld. Right, so I'm just going to dry that off. What we're going to do here, guys, is I'm going to show you a way to achieve super fast results, like on kind of an army level. I'm not going to be going for anything finesse, but I'll be going for something as effective as possible, as fast as possible. Okay, so we'll jump to our purple, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about airbrushing. So using an airbrush, obviously we've got some airbrushes in our campaign. They are excellent. I'm going to bang on about having a large needle in your airbrush. That's my own personal opinion. Ankal uses baby needles, and he does nicer airbrushing than I do, so other opinions are available. But I really like and rate using big chunky needles, like 0.4s, 0.5s, 0.35s, and I've never actually extensively used anything smaller than that, apart from like small testing periods where I wasn't too enamored with them. Maybe I'm just not delicate enough. Who knows? But I like to use every type of paint, and I like to use the best paint for the job, and I don't like to change brushes particularly between uses. I know some people have like 2 airbrush setups and things like that. I just tend to have one, and that's it. All right, so we're gonna have to pick like how we want to do this. So I want the raised areas to be lighter here, and the recessed areas to be darker. So I'm just going to aim for the middles. Again, we're not doing finesse airbrushing here at all. I'm airbrushing at quite a high pressure, and the next stages I'm going to be picking out with the dry brush anyway, so this is just about getting stuff down fast. Just remember that I said I'm going to go up to yellow. Okay, so we've got a bit more of the blue in the recesses. Time for us to start adding yellow in. I don't know what yellow I'm going to use. Let's use a little bit of Sol Yellow. Or we could go up to Ice Yellow. We could do it the same colour as the Dreadnought. That'd be interesting. I think we'll go for a brighter one though. See how this looks. I don't post much on my own personal one. I don't actually get to paint that often, and when I do, it's often I'm painting massive amounts of stuff for very imminent tournament deadlines. I'm a decent painter, but I'm not often painting for like a high-end result. I'm painting a lot of the time to get stuff on the table and have it look effective and pretty. I do enjoy painting high-end stuff. It's not that I don't, or I don't think it's a good use of my time or anything, but I play a lot of Age of Sigmar, and if I'm painting, I'm quite busy generally, and if I'm painting, it's often getting something ready so I can get it on the tabletop. I used commission paint as well, and that kind of encouraged speed, because I was painting some single figures, but mostly I was bashing out armies for people. So you can see I airbrush and dry brush pretty similarly. Like, I'm going to test my brush here first, test it on the palette, see how it behaves. Probably should have thinned a little more. Thin a little bit more, and I'm going to dump down the pressure as well a tad. These needles are so good. They are so precise. You can work so close to your model. I'm actually going to hit this more from the front than I am from the back. Use the model's natural texture, and that'll start to pick up the ridges. If this is all coming out on camera. It's already got a little bit of fade there, just standard airbrushing stuff really. Make sure I catch these bits here. And I'm trying to aim down, this is all the same as dry brushing. I'm aiming down the wings here. So what I'm going to do at this point is, that's quite a lot of the airbrushing done. I'm going to pop down a quick pre-shade with the airbrush of white. In fact, no, I'm going to do that with the dry brush. We're going to jump to the dry brush now, and I'm going to see about combining the two techniques. I'm just going to use up the rest of my paint here, because why not? Anyone who's watched any of my previous lives are probably noticing right now that I paint very similarly, whether I'm airbrushing or dry brushing, and I say the same things. I talk about light the same way. We talk about cleaning my brush the same way, and testing things out on models and stuff like that. Alright, so I'm going to varnish the model now, and the reason for that is airbrushing goes on lighter than normal painting does. It's thinner, it obscures detail less, blah 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 blah. It's got its own unique set of traits. A lot of them are great, however, it gets knocked off by dry brushing easier than any other technique, because you have a thinner layer. So what we're going to do at this point is, I'm just going to make sure that there's no, there's not too much colour in my brush. That's fine. And locate my varnish wherever it's gone. Here we go. Matte varnish. We're going to be dry brushing. We don't want something slippy. Matte has more texture to it. That's why it doesn't look as shiny. It's not as smooth in terms of the finish you get, amongst other things. So we're going to be popping a matte varnish down on this wing now, and that should protect us. All right. Come on, varnish. All right, we got some varnish, a bit thinner. Give it a mix. Some people use their varnish neat. It's just personal preference. Do what you like. This brush gargles a lot better than my previous ones. Yeah, you have to pull the needle back when you back flush. So if you don't, nothing will happen. So you have to, you can probably see it there. I'm not sure if I can. There you go. That's how I do it if I was doing it more carefully. Don't need a thick layer of varnish down particularly, just protecting what we've got there. The dry brushing we're going to be doing is going to be pretty soft, so okay. So let's give that a little bit of time to dry. Got a fan behind me, so I'm just going to pop it in front of that for a bit, and we're going to get out a nice big brush here, and we're going to start our dry brushing. So we've gone from purple in the recesses, and we've used this yellow, so we're going to pick it up again. Nice big line of that, it's a larger model. Moistening pad comes out. That's nearly wet enough, just a little bit more. So let's get this ready if we need it. So our brush has been moistened. Let's see if I can find an angle where this will show up. See that slight sheen of moisture, that's all you need, no more than that. Always working it into our bristles from every angle. Let's grab our Tyranid and let's get rocking. So this might be a little bit brutal at first, this yellow. We've just got to test it and see how bright we think it is. Just on our palette here. It is pretty bright. Okay, let's see how this goes. I've not had a stream where it turns out what I'm doing is a completely awful idea yet, but you never know. Could be the first time. Straight away you can see that picking out those wings really nice, those horn sections really nicely. It's going to take a fair bit of patience here. We're looking to build up quite a lot of interest and texture, and it's just going to involve using the same colour quite a lot, basically. This is this model's got amazing texture. GW really do knock it out of the park with their plastics. They are so good. Why is it that we've got so many requests from for Tyranid models? Has it all been from the same people, or is it are they more popular than I realised in 40k, or is it that they're particularly popular amongst painters who are maybe interested in our brushes? What do you think the reason is? This is actually going on really, really nicely. So what I'm going to do on this, guys, is because I don't want to get like a big dirty splodge on the game. Bob, is it all you? I will absolutely do some Eldar ones. That Eldar terrain, the big one looks nice. Basically you'll think about vehicles with like big flat panels and stuff like that? Guys, can you see how this is picking up the ripples in these wings? This is going really well. It's all okay, I've not cocked up. We're going to be fine. I'm particularly interested to show some Necron vehicles, the Croissant one. Yeah, that's a good point. You do have to paint a lot of models, so finding ways that are effective and efficient is always going to be high priority. Hopefully you guys can see what we're building up here. This texture is lovely and absolutely perfect for Series D, like so perfect. This isn't going to be crazy fast because we're building up entire stages here, but as far as for the amount of interest we're getting on the model, I think it's going to be pretty efficient. This all showing up on camera well. You have to appreciate I've got a camera really close to my face, but it's completely obscured by a clamp, which is why I have to dodge around and try and make sure that I can see you guys' comments more easily. I'll just show you a bit of edging while we've got the brush here. Picks that out beautifully. You do not need a small brush to pick out edges. I don't subscribe to that theory of thought whatsoever. Always the biggest brush for the job until you're being silly using big brushes, in which case jump to a smaller one. This is looking really good. This is super soft, guys. This is looking lovely. Bob, you done good. I'll dedicate this to you until the point in which it goes wrong, and then I'll still dedicate it to you and it'll be your fault. We're looking great, actually. This is a lovely texture. Let's see. Use them in traditionally dry brush levels, Nighthorn and Dragon Blades, old school drum printers. Oh, it's you, Chris. Hello, Chris. Kind words, thank you. Your army looks great. You smashed it out super fast as well, didn't you? So always going more gently with my first strokes, guys. This is we're using a very bright colour here on top of quite a dark base coat, and the idea is to build it up softly with patience. But if you're going to make a mistake, like 90% of mistakes are going to happen in that first application, those first 5 seconds of painting with dry brushing. That's why we counsel testing it on the palette, using your thumb, all that type of stuff first. Yeah, that's a really nifty one, Chris. I guess it makes sense. A lot of people use sponges, and it is a baby sponge that you would have in your hobby kit. So, emergency transfer application pad. Can't say that was something we considered when we came up with it, but I'll take it. All right, so carefully. Bit too heavy there for my liking on the edge. Just remove it with the finger. Part of you watching me on these streams, guys, is you get to see how much I cock up. That's important. Like people who produce solid paint jobs, it's not because they do everything perfect, not by any means. Back to the moisture palette. That's going to make our paint come off the brush more easily and keep it super soft and super fine. This really is looking very nice now. This is a funky scheme. If anyone would like to copy it, feel free. You could use any yellow. Here I'm using this one, Soul Yellow, and I'm using Xeris Purple. I'll pop them in the background. Build up that texture bit by bit. If anyone is feeling particularly kind, it would be amazing if they would link the campaign in the comments. That would be massive. If anyone's viewing it at PC where that's not a faff, that'd be awesome. Alright, so we've got some pretty decent texture there. Maybe not as much towards the inner bits of the membrane, so we can fix that. I kind of feel like the thing to do here is just to carry on building this up. It might have been faster actually to do a first heavier layer with a little bit of the purple in, so we weren't quite so worried about crazy transitions and stuff like that, and to then jump to this in hindsight, but that's in hindsight. So people should be able to see here that it doesn't look like I'm exactly being careful at this point. All of my care is about how much paint is on the brush. It's testing it here, it's making sure we've got the right level of moisture, etc, etc. It's not like we've got a nice high quality rounded brush. It's made to put things down soft, so as long as we've not put too much paint on the brush, we should be pretty much cock up free, as long as we follow the steps of testing it and not oversaturating it at any point. This texture's looking mega, looking really good. Hello to all of you who've joined. The only part I'm not happy with is this arm. It's a bit too yellow for my liking, but we could fix that with washes later if we liked. Alright, so next step is some more gentle dry brushing. To build up some heavy yellow on these models. So we've got more paint on the brush, but to counter that, we are being more soft. And this is the stage when stuff should really start to jump out. So gently, gently. At first, at least, until we know that we're not going to do anything shocking. Notice how I've not knocked off any of my previous layers of paint, even on the edges of this. This is because that stage of varnish we did beforehand. A little bit too heavy there. But after that, perfect. Right, this texture's looking really nice. I think we are probably ready, after we've caught any areas that I'm worried that we've missed, to add some more in. Gonna go up to, gonna add a little bit of ice yellow, see how that looks. Draw a stripe on the palette. I'll be dragging those two into each other. Hey there, Arcus. To take a little bit of that, drag it into this. So gently, gently, we've just added quite a bright colour. It's looking cool, it's looking really nice. We will probably go to adding white here, guys. We just have to remember to keep enough of our original yellow in there so that that white is just brightening a colour rather than drowning it out. Ah, my dampening pad is not wet enough. He says about to make it far too wet. It's definitely very different painting for and on camera. I would liken it to if you are cat people and you've ever tried typing on a laptop with a cat sat on your lap in front of you and typing around it. It's kind of like that. It's like everything is not quite as flexible as you'd like. I didn't realise how much I move my models around when I'm painting until I first tried painting on camera, and I just spent all of my time moving things out of shot. Okay. I'm getting spiked here so badly. Right, time for a little jump up in brightness. And again, we've jumped up, so we're going to keep things soft. This is, you're stroking the model here. Super soft. I've spoken a lot in previous ones about just going from one angle, guys. We could have absolutely gone down on all of these, but because it's kind of a bumpy, lumpy one, we're just looking to hit the raised areas more than the recessed areas. So we're not paying so much attention. You'd be fine to do that though if you wanted. It's looking really good. I did that when Age of Sigmar made the change to round bases. I was so used to having corners to hold on to, I just found myself just like literally popping models from my grip left, right and centre. So you're in good company, or bad company. Alright guys, we're at a stage where we can jump to white now, I reckon. Look at those. It's just so fast. Check out my precise edge highlighting. Just making sure most of my strokes are going against these, or down them, not in line with them. You're always looking to hit your edges at 90 degrees. Alright, I'm pleased with this. It's come out really well. So grab a white, I like the Army Painter white. Find it very predictable. Need to be careful here, because white is white. I do have a fluorescent yellow that we could pop a bit in if this drowns things out too much, but I guess we'll find out. Really careful here. Try it on these edges first. Right, it looks like we've not gone too severe. Maybe we haven't gone severe enough. A little bit more white. Mixing it in the same place on my palette as the yellows, because I am still a little bit worried about things jumping out too starkly. There you go, that's coming off now. A little bit more. And do it. First mistake. Always a risk when you're playing with white. These wings are looking mega though. I'm not sure how long we've been painting, but I've been talking and I've been experimenting with the technique myself. You could do an entire army really fast using these techniques. They work better on like medium-sized models rather than large models in terms of like grossest like efficiency speed goes as well, I would say. Less massive open expanses that sometimes you need to pay a lot of care and attention to when painting. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is clean my brush a little bit, so make it wetter than we have been. Grab my palette, you'll be able to see how much comes off on here. So it's pretty much all white because we've cleaned off a lot of the yellows we've got. There we go, looking pretty good considering. Right, let's find a big softie. Right, so I was just using a large for reference. That's a large. It's been used quite a lot, so it's broken in a bit. This is an extra large, it's huge. Maybe you should have been using that a bit more, but alright, so got a brand new brush, just taking the white on it, and we're going to be very soft with this because we're worried. Say we, I want to make sure I catch every single edge, as well as these middle sections. This is where we can get a really good contrast, so see this section here, that's what we're after. So I say careful and then you see me just going at the model with reckless abandon. My care is here, and it's in this test beforehand. In the first couple of strokes, and then once I know we're good, then we can rock on. So often in these final steps you'll pick up bits that you haven't managed to maybe pick up previously on the model. But bear in mind that the brush we had, even though we've cleaned off a lot of the yellow, we didn't clean off all of this, all of it. This is pure white, so it's going to step things up a notch. Such a big model, it's difficult to know where to hold it at times. Look at that edge highlighting, that is gorgeous, that is so crisp. Does anyone have any questions while I'm going? More than happy to answer. I feel like the detail in the inner sections has been neglected a bit, so I'm going to see if I can get in there. this has helped sort out that section that I wasn't so pleased with as well, the actual arms rather than the membranes. I'm not sure if I'm going to go over this with the stage of fluoro yellow that I would. It looks kind of nice, kind of tallowy and desaturated. It's looking good though. That's gone really well. It's a perfect model for demonstrating it on. I mean, if I take some white here and hop over to the other side of the model and do a more naked version, you can see the type of texture we're playing with. It's just made for this type of thing. I think I'm gonna try the fluoro yellow a little. I mean, we haven't painted anything without fluoro yellow yet, so I won't break that habit now. So jumping back to the last brush we used, or the previous, take a bit of that fluoro, the other yellow too. And we're basically looking to kind of carefully buff the entire of this section. So this is working like a wash, but it's just hitting the raised areas. Can you guys see the filter that we're applying to the model there? Again, this is an airbrush technique. We're just doing it with a dry brush. So anything that was too white for our liking, we've knocked back beautifully there. A bit of water, a bit more fluoro. Could you use the extra small dry brush for the bones? Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, depending what you're looking to achieve, you could use whatever. Bob, I'm glad that's sorted out it scratched your Tyranid itch, mate. Pleasure. Okay, so we're there. So I am going to add a little bit more white in, because I like having one more stage more than this. I'm going to do it with the same brush that we've been using though, I think. So I actually think what would look really good at this stage would be it'd be a purple wash in the recesses for contrast. You could do an airbrush as well. You could just kind of aim at the membranes. Would look really, really good. That's it. So we've painted some Tyranids. Much requested. Where are my palettes? Running out of paint and desk space. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of purple in here. And just a tad. A bit more. This is a size 4 Series S It's one of the best brushes you'll ever use in your life. It is huge and it is perfect. Holds a load of paint. It's got a beautiful point. It's just an all-round winner. Right then, let's push some colours into these recesses here. Looking quite fast. It's a big model and I'm looking to smudge these washes in with water once they're, or glazes, whatever you want to call them, once they're down, so speed is of the essence. Take anywhere where it's pulled too heavily. I think actually some inks wouldn't go amiss on this. Look at that, we mixed the perfect amount. Smudge that out. Pull off anywhere where we've got too much. While we're here, put a wash down on the arm. And we can do one here, pulling into the recesses, pulling to the base of that claw. There we go. So that's it, guys. Little bit of airbrushing there. Possibly could have just not airbrushed. These rings, we really picked out the texture better than I thought we were going to be able to. Also, if we'd stippled the first stages, we might have had more bite, more physical texture to it to be picked up. So that might have actually made our jobs a little bit easier and faster. Super pleased with that though. Really high quality result. And look at that, 20 seconds remaining of the stream. So the Kickstarter is still running. We've got a couple of hours to go at this point. Artis Opus Series D. Join in for your chance to own the best Drybrushes that have ever existed. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure, and I will catch you in the next one.